50 Cent says Netflix didn't even get the wildest part of the Diddy documentary. But here's the contradiction that has people stuck. If it was too much footage, why does it sound like the most explosive material was the easiest to leave out? And if he really drops it on YouTube, who exactly is that supposed to pressure? 50 went on record saying the doc had to be cut down because it was limited to 4 episodes, and he hinted there's extra material that might end up online instead of waiting for another season. That's the part that shifts the entire energy, because Netflix is controlled, edited, and filtered through legal layers, but YouTube is fast, unpredictable, and impossible to contain once it spreads. And then he added that after the documentary aired, more people started reaching out with new information, like the project gave them the confidence to finally speak. But then he teased there's a real reason behind why he's pushing this so hard, and that's where it gets complicated. TK Kirkland gets pulled into the conversation next, and the angle flips from public rivalry to personal boundary. The claim being floated is basically, out of everyone Diddy could have been around, it allegedly involved someone connected to 50's personal life. And TK frames that as crossing a line you don't cross if there's respect. Here's the part people miss. When a story like that gets repeated publicly, it stops being just background noise. It becomes something viewers attach motive to. And once people believe they understand the real reason, everything else starts getting reinterpreted through that lens.
All the women in the world that Diddy could have gotten with, he chose 50 Cent's baby mother.
It's a lot of variables to this particular question. Because I talk to a lot of people, older, younger, even my daughter, who's 22, she didn't understand it. So people give their opinion based on what they've experienced and their environment, people they've been around. So to the people that understand boundaries and respect, I always tell men you should never date another man's girl if you're not aware of it. If you know,
went after the baby mother of one of his rivals.
Exactly.
Someone who had been taking shots at him for years.
Absolutely.
On purpose.
And he went after her knowing that they had beef.
Right. And slutted her out.
Slutted her out.
Just slutted her out.
Slutted out.
Having a whole basketball team run a train on her.
Totally
and
did. I
just
totally
the whole
agree.
thing, right?
Totally agree.
Right.
But his reputation from when he worked at Uptown, I'll be sure's girlfriend.
Oh, Kim Porter.
Kim Porter.
Right.
That's
well,
his reputation.
I'll be sure his baby mother.
Baby mama.
Yeah.
Then Eric Serm, his friend, the one that had she had his baby, Mia. So he's had a reputation of going after people.
Tupac's ex-girlfriend.
Tupac's ex-girlfriend.
He got a baby with her too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my point that I'm making to the men listening, well, if you don't understand this, then you're just poorly educated and don't really have common sense. It's a no-no. There's no way I would go after Vlad's ex-girlfriend.
Right.
I'm so loyal that if I met a woman and she said, oh yeah, I used to date Vlad. Oh, I can't with you, baby.
Right.
I won't even put my, excuse my language, because that's how I move. Other people don't move like that, but you see me in Paris, you see me all over the world. Why would I want to do that to mess up?
Now the story swerves again, because while the documentary gets praise, Gene Deal appears with a completely different complaint, not about what was included, but about who owns the foundation of the idea. He alleges parts of the concept weren't original and says he wasn't credited the way he expected. Whether people agree or not, it adds another layer of tension, because now the conversation isn't just about truth, it's about ownership, recognition, and who benefits. And when credit becomes part of the argument, that's usually when more behind-the-scenes details begin surfacing. It creates the feeling that if 50 really does have extra footage, the internet is already primed to treat it like something locked away that's about to be released.
I seen an interview about, he said that he had a lot of footage had to be down, the documentary had to be downsized. You understand? I don't really believe that, because a documentary is a documentary, and they could have had 45 minutes, they could have had an hour, to each one of those. You understand? They left out certain things. He said they even left out the one about Sarah Chapman. You understand? And for whatever reason, he probably left out a lot of other different stars too. situations that they could have spoke about. You understand? I have a problem with the documentary, and I'm just gonna let you know that the reason I have a problem with the documentary is that they know that they took my idea. You understand? They know that when I came to them, I laid out what they should do and how the documentary should be. You understand? She could say whatever she want to say. I talked to those producers before I even talked to her. They wanted to know what I had, what I was bringing, my pictures, all that stuff like that. And I told them about me, Tim, and Kirk. You understand what I'm saying? And how it would go. They did the same thing. This ain't the first time they stole from me, man. If you look at the Notorious Big, if you watch the Notorious Big, that part about the shoes, I had that in my book. And I was talking to K.O. Kirkland. He was one of the writers of that movie. And I told him about when I let Big use my shoes at Soul Train Award. You had this old flunky ass dude, Mike B, get on Angie Martinez's show and talk about, yo, Big, he wore mixed max shoes and he went out there and performed. When you go look at the film, when you go look at Big performing that on that show, ain't nothing mixed match about them shoes. There was $800 Maury's, size 14D, Big World 14E. E means that his shoes is a little wider than mine. He struggled, but he put them on and he went out there and performed. Those was my Gators that he had on. You understand? They did a little skit trying to disrespect me in the movie. You understand? And they said something about, oh, we got this from Big.
Gene's take also feeds into a bigger, uncomfortable theme, power. He suggests that if more material comes out, especially on YouTube, it might be harder to slow down or contain, and he frames that as evidence that the old behind-the-scenes influence may not be as absolute as people once believed. Alleged, disputed, and not proven in court, but as a narrative it spreads quickly, because audiences don't just watch for facts, they watch for the moment they believe control slips. And then the conversation pivots straight into the Tupac connection, the detail that instantly makes people pay attention.
And if 50 do another one, and I heard he's going to put it on YouTube or do whatever he's going to do, Puff ain't going to have nothing to do with that. Puff ain't going to have nothing to do to try to stop that because he can't. Because if he could stop it, it would have been stopped. You know why he can't stop it? Because Puff know people right there at Netflix. Don't think he don't. And I don't know if this guy still worked for them, but he was part of the flavor unit, Shakim. He was part of the flavor unit. He was good friends. He was cool with Puff and them. Flavor unit and them, Queen Latifah and them, they was cool with Puff. If Puff would have sent a cease and desist over there and they could do it and he had the power and they wasn't right, it would have been done it. You see it's still rolling, right? It's still going on, right? He ain't got that power no more. You understand? Now, could he sue them because they used his likeness or used them and stuff like that? I don't know. I'm not that versed in they using him. You understand? If they can steal your whole damn idea, your whole damn ideal, why can't they steal your whole damn intellectual property?
This is where 50's comment becomes headline fuel. He claimed there was an omitted piece involving Diddy having a child with a woman who once dated Tupac. Important distinction. It's confirmed that 50 made the statement, but the deeper implication around it is not proven. Still, it lands hard, because Tupac isn't just a historical figure in hip-hop. He represents unfinished questions, unresolved emotion, and a timeline people still revisit decades later. Anytime his name enters a new controversy, it creates the feeling that old history is somehow colliding with the present. And then another layer appears, because reports point toward Diddy's daughter with Sarah Chapman, noting Chapman reportedly dated Tupac before Chance Combs was born in 2006. Again, reported, not established as some hidden scheme, but it trends because it sounds like two separate eras unexpectedly intersecting. And once people believe timelines overlap, they start wondering what else might have been left out of the documentary entirely.
I did see the interview that 50 did with Sherry. And he was talking about he didn't release the video about Puff having a kid by Kim Porter's friend, Sarah Chapman. Now, we all know that she used to date Tupac. You understand? So either he got her because he wanted some remnants of Tupac. We don't know. But it seemed like every dude that he had some kind of disdain, dislike, or that he idolized in a sense, he wanted their girl. Or he wanted to be a part of their girl. I don't know why. Yo, bro, this dude was, I don't know if he was in love or in hate for Tupac. He wanted to be an actor. He auditioned I think he auditioned for Juice. But Pac beat him out for that Bishop thing. You understand what I'm saying? He wanted to be a part of that. Just go, and not so many years ago, when Puff started getting into that drugs and started using drug stuff, he started revamping some of Tupac's speeches. And if you think I'm lying, go look at the Grammy speech he did. Go look at a couple of speeches he did. It was the same exact words Tupac had said. That he was going to start this whole revolutionary of our people. That's Tupac. Black Lives Matter, the Black Liberation Movement, that was Pac. The Black Liberation Movement. Black Lives Matter? Come on, bro. This dude, everybody know that he had some kind of, I don't want to say disdain taste, but he had some kind of, I don't, jealousy of Tupac, bro. He had this jealousy.
Now the tone darkens, because the rivalry-style narrative shifts toward what the documentary barely touched, Kim Porter. Kim, Diddy's longtime partner and the mother of his children, passed away in 2018 at age 47, with pneumonia widely reported as the official cause. But online, there's been years of speculation that go far beyond confirmed facts, and the documentary didn't spend much time there. Sometimes what a documentary avoids becomes louder than what it shows, because audiences assume absence means sensitivity or something more complicated behind the scenes.
Do you think that Diddy killed Kim Porter?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because of all the videotapes, because of the book, because of all the people she gave copies of her book to, or at least chapters, because of everything that she had on him, because of the tape that she used to blackmail him into a relationship and into a raise of him being sodomized by Andre Harrell. And I am not saying that allegedly, because I heard her and Kim Moore talking about it in the booth of the bathroom while snorting cocaine at the Kit Kat.
It was alleged that she did have a book and that her book was about to come out. And she was talking about all the perils, everything that she went through in the music business and with Diddy. All the men that they slept with together, because there were men that they slept with together. There were swinging times that they slept with together. I don't know, man. How do you put your girl through some shit like that? Or how you look at your girl and knowing that she's in another dude? What kind of demonic mind you have to be that far gone where that shit don't bother you, and got rid of them? They swimming with the fishes.
Wow, man. So she was about to expose all that in her book, them sleeping with men together.
She was going to expose everything. I heard it was tell all.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Just curious, right? Did you know that Diddy and Kim had that type of relationship back then in real time?
Yeah. Yep. Because I know somebody personally that lives in Atlanta that was swinging with them, and I would never mention his name because he's a good brother and he knows my family down there. You know, he knows my family down there, and I would never, put his name out there like that. He's been in the music business. He done put a lot of groups, A-listed groups out there, especially A-listed groups.
Then the story slides into another alleged incident through Mark Curry's account, claims about conversations being monitored, and a confrontation involving producer Shakur Stewart where a chair was allegedly used during an altercation. None of that is established as proven legal fact here, so it remains in the category of personal claims, but its role in the narrative is clear. It reinforces the perception that there may be more beneath the surface than what audiences have seen publicly.
It was the other day they just did a whole thing with the girl that he was dating was the one that was putting the wiretaps and all of that out. It was a clear case. She came, hey, I was the one who was doing the wiretaping and all of this, right? The tapping. So I knew about this before she came out and said that she was the one that was doing it. I was sitting there like, damn, he know everything she doing. He know her conversations. I'm sitting there like when I'm sitting there right there next to him, when I'm hearing them saying, this is what Shakur Stewart was saying to Kim Porter on the phone that made him mad. That made him so mad at Shakur Stewart when he went to L.A. Reid party, hit him with the chair. You don't think if he hit a man with a chair for dating this girl, they're going to have a fight at home too. You know what I mean? That's why, they say he busts her nose up on the boat. And have you ever been to Sandro Pay's see a brother play a mandolay? Remember that was in his song? I need a good woman next to me. So didn't it happen in what was it, Sandro Pay? Like that island. And then he bust her nose. They had a she said they tried to make it seem like she slipped and fell. She slipped and fell and broke her nose. Nah, the truth was she slipped and fell and landed on his fist. Yeah, but that's what happens when you put your hands on females. I don't really have much respect for a man who's physically abusive towards women, man. I kind of think they be kind of suspect. I'd be like, man, girls fight.
The next suspicion shifts toward the parties themselves, how the documentary allegedly shows very little of the celebrity presence people associate with those events. Whether that's editorial caution or simply storytelling focus, it feeds the same underlying idea. Many people were present, and many people remained silent. That silence becomes part of the story, because viewers start asking whether silence means distance or protection.
Your thoughts on all his celebrity friends that denounced those allegations and were like, this is false, and they were saying, yeah, should they speak up now?
It's getting a little too late for those who are complicit. Stevie J should be charged. Mary J. Blige should also be charged. Jennifer Lopez should definitely be charged. Jay-Z should be charged. Khaled should be charged. Rick Ross should be charged. Usher should be charged and tried with him. Or for Justin Bieber alone.
And then Jaguar Wright enters as a voice focused less on industry politics and more on personal history. She frames her interpretation around upbringing, environment, and psychological influence, presenting claims and personal perspectives rather than proven conclusions. These interpretations resonate online because they offer something deeper than headlines. They offer motive, context, and emotional framing, whether confirmed or not.
Knows what he saw and what happened to him in his own mama house. All of those strangers, them up involved, looking around, seeing what was going on. And let's just be clear, it sounds like her house was a house of, professional freak-offs. So who knows what he saw or what could have happened to him while she was busy entertaining people and pouring and getting tips, as she would say, for her after-hour life.
Oh, yeah. He was, I'm going to say he was surprised to hear that.
School bus driver. No, was he surprised or was he like, zip it, you talking too much? Because that's what it looked like to me. It looked like you talking a little bit too much. They don't need to know about that. While she was sitting up there, oh, because I was a bus driver and I was this, and I worked at the after hours. And I would pour them drinks and they would give me big.
So now we're back to the real engine behind everything. 50 isn't just presenting a finished documentary. He's signaling there could be more, and he's pointing at YouTube as the place it might surface. That's not a neutral choice. That's strategic, because a streaming series ends, but YouTube never really does. One upload becomes 10 reactions become 100 theories, and suddenly the conversation grows beyond anyone's ability to fully control it. And if people truly are reaching out to him with new information like he suggested, then the most unsettling part isn't what's already public. It's the possibility that what comes next could reshape how the entire timeline is understood.